My clients stay with me for twice the length of my program, which means most of them pay me twice, even 3 to 5 times. And this isn't like a marketing thing. This is literally all because I just got better at coaching. And 7 Questions did that. They're in this book, which I've recommended to almost all of my clients. And I've never spoken about this publicly because I honestly want to keep this book to myself. See, everyone out there in this industry is just selling you on more ads, on more content, more personal branding, more funnels, more tactics. But nobody's telling you that the fastest way to make more money in your coaching business is to get your clients to buy from you more than once. So I'm gonna give you the 7 questions that are in this book, how this is gonna make you a better coach. Then I'm gonna tell you the 2 things this book gets completely wrong, and then the fastest and easiest way to get your clients to pay you minimum 3 times. The first question this book opens with is every question that you have to open anytime you speak with a client, which is what's on your mind. And let me tell you something. The biggest mistake I see from all of my clients who are also coaches is that they instantly go towards fixing a problem rather than understanding what's the problem first. We feel that because we're coaches that we're meant to fix, but the premise of this book and the reason why I'm so good at coaching and I'm making my clients be so good at coaching too is that I tell them all they have to do is understand the problem first. The reason somebody invested in you is because you are a subject matter expert, and all you want to do is understand where your client is coming from before you jump to conclusions. So the first question is what's on your mind? You want to make sure you set up a good conversation and that there's a safe space for them to tell you exactly what's going on. In the book, it tells us there's 3 things that usually come about. 1, it's a problem about a project they're working on. 2, a person that they're having problems with. And then 3, a pattern that keeps repeating. Now, the first thing that the book doesn't really talk about is that this, for coaches specifically, we don't get a lot of the person problem. We don't usually have co-workers we're dealing with. This is for managers mostly. So you will always have to deal with projects and patterns. And you as a coach, you're always going to be dealing with projects, something that they're working on. You really want to understand what's on their mind that's keeping them from getting the results that you promised them. Second question is amazing. It's and what else? Most of the times when you say what's on your mind, they're going to word vomit a lot of things, but when you pause, you take it all in and you ask them what else. I don't think there's one time I've asked this question and nothing came around. I always said what else, and they give me something else that gives me more context for the next questions to come so I can actually solve the problem at hand. Because most of the time the first question is always what they've thought about. It's the most rehearsed. The second and what else is usually the one that they never thought that you were going to ask, and it usually gives you the true reason behind the question that they're asking. And the cool thing is you don't always have to just ask this once, like and what else just once. I like to probe. I treat my client calls like sales calls. I want to get to the root of the problem. And what else? Why is that a problem? What else? Is there anything else? Anything else you would like to share? Like literally. The other job that this question is giving you is that it also giving you time to process all of the information that your client is giving you. Remember, the entire purpose of this video that you're watching is to help you become a better coach so that you can sign your clients again. Now, when everything's on the table, when they tell you what's on their mind, when you probe and what else, maybe once or twice, the third question highlights what the actual problem is for them. What's going to happen sometimes is that you're going to ask them what's on your mind, and they're going to tell you a bunch of things, and you say and what else, and they're going to tell you a bunch of other things, and maybe they had a rough week and they're just deloading everything on you and they're just dropping a lot of information on you. This third question kind of pivots everything away from all the BS that's around the subject matter, and we instantly focus on what the problem actually is. The third question is essentially just asking them, what's the obstacle here for you? So what this question does, which is genius, is rather than having this Frankenstein of problems, the for you part of it actually just pulls out, okay, what's the problem of all of this for you specifically? What is this in all of this stuff? What is specifically stopping you from getting a result? And when it comes to you having very successful clients and having them come back again for more coaching and more of your service, this question is key because it's going to allow you to have less churn. Most of the times, what I've seen with my clients and their clients is that people don't leave necessarily because they're unhappy. People leave because there's no progress, there's no results. They leave because there's a lack of momentum. They stop moving, and they stop because of your fault, because you defaulted to solving the first thing that they said rather than probing, rather than understanding what the real problem was for them and solving the actual real thing. And you just jumped into coaching mode, into panic mode, into just trying to fix everything that they said, when all you have to do here is chunk it down to, okay, what's the real obstacle here for you? That's gonna save you so much headaches, so much problems with clients in the future. Number 4 is the hardest question here, is that after they tell you what the obstacle here is for them, you have to ask them, okay, out of all of this, what is specifically is it that you want? Now they're gonna jump into a lot of different problem solving mindset. It's gonna make them think, okay, I just gave my mentor, my coach, all these problems. What do I really want? It makes them think. It makes them start solving it for themselves. One of the best quotes that I've seen on mentorship and advisory and consultancy is that a lot of the times, most people don't need to be taught something new. They just need to be reminded of the things that are there for their disposal so they can use them. You have to remind them of the things that you already told them that they might have not used because they're under pressure. They don't know how to apply that knowledge or those tips or those strategy into specific problem that they're going through. You as a coach, you don't have to be nice. You don't have to be this little cheerleader for every one of your clients. They hired you for a specific reason. And if you're always just a cheerleader, you're not going to get them to level up to the place where they need to be in order to get the results that you promised them. So you can't always just be nice with your clients. You have to be kind, which is a completely different thing. Kindness means being blunt, acting on their best interest. When you push the, okay, what do you want? You're essentially doing your job as a coach of, okay, what is it that you want? And then rather than being nice and like pampering them and telling them, okay, so that's a real obstacle, I'm so sorry that, no, okay, what do you want? You're doing your job because you're using your expertise to solve the problem that they have. And if this feels like it's too much for you or it's too hard for you to ask, what do you want? One of my favorite things, which I use in setting, which I use in sales calls, and I teach a lot of my clients is just add 3 magic words out of curiosity. So out of curiosity, what is it that you want? So now that they gave you what's on their mind, what else? What's the obstacle here for you? And then out of curiosity, what do you want? We stop ourselves as coaches of instantly going into, I need to save my client. We actually are giving them the power to start thinking about different solutions. And that's what you want to be as a coach. You don't want to have people be codependent on you forever. If anything, that makes you a really fucking horrible coach. You need to be somebody that can actually teach, give results, and move the person to the next level. Then question number 5 is, that's when we jump in. How can I help you? This stops you from solving something that you didn't have enough context on, which is horrible. This gives you now the power of acting as a coach, acting as a mentor, acting as a consultant, acting as an advisor. Okay, this is what you want. How can I help you achieve that? Now that you went through this entire process of having them think about the problem, think about what is it that they want, think about, okay, how can my mentor actually help me? You're gonna tell them very bluntly, okay, if we work on this, what are the other things that you're saying no to? And this is all about priorities. One of the things I teach my clients all the time is the power of the one thing. Most of the times when coaches come to me for help, I realize that they're always working on the wrong thing with the wrong solutions or working on the wrong problem for so much time that it makes life fucking miserable. So when you actually empower your clients to understand the power of different things and different priorities that they have to do in order to grow, in order to lose fat, in order to improve their relationships, in order to whatever, you actually make them think critically on, okay, if I attack this obstacle right now, what are the other things that I'm saying no to? So that they have the power to now understand how priorities move in their life. And it's so powerful for you as a coach to give them that tool, because then they start realizing, okay, if I work on this, I'm not going to work on these other things, which helps them prioritize, which helps them understand, okay, if I say no to all the other things, this is the one thing I have to work on right now, which makes everything else irrelevant. This makes a, here's my problem, to actually making a commitment. Your job as a coach is to empower change so that they can become better. You are the expert here. You have to guide them through the change. When you ask, if you're saying yes to this, what are you saying no to? We're creating a commitment. We're creating a plan. We're creating a strategy for us to move forward. So what projects are you going to stop working on now so that we can actually work on this? What patterns do we need to destroy so that we can actually work on this and solve this problem? And then after you work through this and you actually coach your client, the last question is the question that's going to allow you to get testimonials, allow you to get good results, allow your client to reflect back on this coaching conversation that they had with you. Because, little tangent here, and it's just so bad. Most coaches out there feel like if they're having one-on-one conversations with their clients, it's just like a chit chat. It's just a, let's just grab coffee and let's talk about life. No, each call that you have with your clients have to have a result in mind, okay? And they have to reflect back on the conversation that you just had with them so that they understand that this conversation wasn't just 1 hour they lost of their life, but 1 hour that they can actually improve upon. 1 hour that they have a strategy, they solve the problem. So the last question becomes extremely important. The last question is, okay, out of all of this, what was the most useful thing for you? Now, they have to reflect. They have to go back and understand, okay, this was my problem. This was on my mind. Based on everything that we spoke about, what was most useful was this. This is the strategy that I'm going to use. And then this is my commitment. This is how I'm going to go about my day now. Rather than, was this helpful? And a yes, it's now this becomes, okay, the strategy moving forward. They repeat the conversation back in their mind. They learned. Now they're going to do applied knowledge. You're going to do the thing that you asked them to do. And now you're obviously writing this down. This serves as mini testimonials that you can use on social media and allow you to become undeniable in your space. But before you do any of that, you have to understand that you have to have a good coaching habit so that you can help clients, so that you can make them get results, so they stay with you for longer, so they pay you more, so they can keep changing their life. That's the whole purpose of becoming a better coach. And if you call yourself a coach, it's not just knowing the things about your industry. It's not just having the knowledge about fitness and relationships and admissions and all this bullshit. It's actually having the knowledge on being a good coach. You're coaching people. This is a knowledge gap. If you can't get your clients results, this is a skill issue. That's it. And as a skill, you can learn it. You can become better at coaching. And it is your role, it is your responsibility to become better at coaching as you grow your business too. So a couple things that the book doesn't talk about. It actually never tells you when to answer. So if you watch this video again, I tell you exactly how to answer some of these. In some instances, you actually want to give somebody an answer. Because if you're only asking, because again, this is more for managerial roles, but if you're always asking, it seems like you're evading the question. And in some instances, more often than not, you actually have to like put your adult pants on and fucking answer the question and tell them exactly what they need to do. Sometimes they need a slap on the face and it's like, hey, you gotta wake up. This is what you have to do. Like, you've been procrastinating on this shit for so long. You're being over perfectionist and we're losing time. We're wasting time. Sometimes you actually have to be kinder to your clients and actually just tell them what they have to do. And the other thing this book doesn't tell you about, again, it's more for managerial conversations, like a 5-minute quick chat of like, okay, this is the problem that you have. Go act on it. Just go, leave me alone kind of thing. It's not really for a 1-hour conversation you're having with a client where you actually have to dive deep and give them the strategy. It gives you the nice foundational work for how to become a better coach, but you have to be able to have a 60-minute conversation when you're actually solving problems. And remember when I told you that I'm going to give you a technique and a way to actually have your clients pay you a minimum of 3 times? It's actually very simple. I created what I called a coaching offer engine. In that description below, I give you a link so you can build, launch, and scale your own offer engine. And it's a free tool so you can use it and actually have your clients pay you at least 3 times. Also, the video that's on the screen right now is going to walk you through the entire offer creation engine so that you can pair what I've given you in the description below, use that, watch the video, and then you're going to have a 6-figure online coaching offer and an incredible offer engine so that you can run and have your clients pay you at least 3 times. You can help them, you can make more money, and you can scale your business. But for now, I'll see you in the next one.